Big story breaking, and we've got a great guest. I don't get him on a whole lot, but I'd love to have him on. Lee Zurik joins us, chief investigator reporter for Fox 8 out of New Orleans. Lee, how you doing, sir?
Moon, good to be with you as always.
Well, Lee, big story breaking. There's been headlines everywhere. State Police Commissioner Calvin Braxton accused of abusing power to fix tickets and intimidate troopers. And, of course, you really did a lot of investigating on this and breaking this story. The governor, of course, had a year, no action, all inaction from a guy who promised us on a code that he was going to be a different type governor. So tell us what's going on with this story.
Yeah, there's really two layers to it. First of all, there's the Calvin Braxton angle. He's a Natchitoches businessman, owns a car dealership there. He was appointed by Governor Edwards to the State Police Commission, and it's a pretty big role. Basically, they kind of oversee state police. But if there's a trooper who gets into a trouble and the trooper appeals, whatever the ruling was, they go before the police commission, and the police commission will hear that appeal. So it's a significant entity as it involves state police. So Braxton's on that. First of all, gets a couple of tickets, one for himself and then one for a friend of his or someone who's associated with him. And Braxton gets the former executive director of the police commission to fix the tickets, to get them cleaned up, which obviously raises questions about using his, power as a public official on that board, trying to get tickets fixed where, if you or I were to call the executive director of the police commission, there's no way she would get those tickets fixed for us. But the more significant or serious, allegation is raised after his daughter in Natchitoches Parish is arrested for a DUI. And Braxton, in an incident report, Braxton allegedly threatens the trooper and basically says they shouldn't have arrested his daughter. They should have given him the common courtesy since he's on the police commission. There's an understood no-touch policy that no one in the police commission should be getting tickets, and no one associated with them should be getting tickets. And then Braxton basically threatened the trooper that if this didn't get cleaned up, well, actually, before that, he said the trooper who arrested his daughter should be reassigned to New Orleans to, quote, get his mind right for 60 to 90 days.
Oh, my God.
And then if it didn't get cleaned up, Braxton said he was going to, take care of it if the trooper ever came before the commission, he would, get revenge on the trooper. So that's the first part of it, Moon, just the Braxton angle. But then the second part of it involves Governor Edwards. Obviously, Governor Edwards appointed Braxton to this board, but the State Trooper Association a year ago wrote the governor a letter bringing up these allegations, attaching the incident report, and basically asking the governor to act on it. The Trooper Association never heard back from the governor. It did happen around the same time. The letter was sent around the same time of the Alton Sterling incident in Baton Rouge. But still, a year later, they had heard nothing. So just last month, the Trooper Association sent another letter to Edwards asking him to start the process to essentially remove Braxton. And again, in about a month since they sent that letter, they had not heard back from the governor as well.
So the governor has basically shunned them. Wouldn't you say? I mean, when you don't even answer them or get back in touch with them, that's kind of shunning people that are very important to this state, the state police.
Yeah, I mean, someone in the governor's office certainly is. I mean, I don't know if the governor saw the letter, but someone certainly did, and there was no response to that letter. And just politically, it's fascinating to me because obviously, I mean, the Trooper Association is a powerful entity, and I am somewhat surprised that they had not had that open dialogue with someone at the governor's office.
It's just by looking at what you've done. We're talking to Lee Zurik, of course. He is a chief investigator reporter for Fox 8 in New Orleans. But looking at this thing from your perspective, going back to Calvin Braxton, I mean, this is using politics and power in a way that it shouldn't be used.
I mean, it raises some serious questions, Moon. I mean, you can't, you don't threaten a trooper. You don't, threaten a trooper that if you come before my board, and I'm going to essentially punish you for punishing my daughter when my daughter did break the law. And it's important to point out Braxton did not deny any of the allegations made against him when we tried to interview him last Thursday at the State Police Commission meeting. So he hasn't denied anything yet, at least to us, the allegations that were made. But I mean, even getting tickets fixed, I know that may be minor to some people, but still, if you can't, email the executive director of the State Police Commission to get a ticket fixed, well, someone on the board shouldn't be asking that same person to get a ticket fixed. It's just you don't use your board power like that.
But I'm taking it this board also is set up to maybe discipline officers that get out of line. Is that am I reading that right?
It's a significant board. So, it raises questions. This guy's out of line, yet he gets to discipline other people who are out of line. It raises serious questions.
Well, he becomes a big hypocrite. I mean, here's your job to discipline them, and then you go around to get tickets fixed, and then you threaten an officer by saying, you're going to come in front of me basically one day, and I'm going to pay you back. We don't want people like that. And I want to go back to Edwards again with you, Lee, because if they sent these letters to the governor should have read them. I don't think this is like saying, well, I didn't file my taxes last year. The IRS don't go, well, okay, we'll let you free because you didn't have the time to do it right. That doesn't work that way. The governor apparently got these letters. I mean, these guys know how to send letters to the governor, and they get to be seen. I mean, he just ignored it in my book.
I mean, if the governor didn't see the letters, that raises a huge question and a huge problem because, if the Trooper Association's writing the governor a letter, as you said, he should probably see it. But at the same time, then it raises the question, why didn't the governor respond? And I don't know. We're trying to get answers from the governor's office, and we will continue to get answers. The governor's office told us yesterday they're going to, they didn't know about the tickets, and they're going to review everything and get back to us.
Well, but when the governor ran for office, he said there would never be anybody in his office that basically did wrong that he wouldn't remove. And this is a guy he appointed himself.
Yeah,
he can get rid of this guy if he wants to.
Well, and it's a little trickier than other board appointments. That he has to have like a public hearing and charge him, and Braxton would have to be afforded that. So he can't just technically remove him. He has to go through a procedure. But, I think it's going to be interesting to see what he does because we've seen him. I did a story on a state tax commissioner who didn't pay property taxes for 25 years and owed $150,000. The governor, or more than that, the governor appointed him and then basically forced him to resign after we ran the story. So it will be interesting to see what the governor does here and how he handles this. Yeah,
no doubt about it. But even the process of them going through a little court work there, the guy's already admitted he did what you said he did. He's already admitted that the threats and all that stuff and fixing tickets and all. Didn't he already admit that?
Well, he didn't deny it, and okay. The paperwork, the email is there, okay. For the tickets. The email proof is there, and he didn't in the interview with us deny what the trooper said to him.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you did.
What the trooper wrote.
It looks like it was great work again, Lee. Lee Zurik, my special guest. So, Lee, usually when you do these stories, you've done a lot of them. And they don't all bear fruit, but a lot of them do. How long will it take before you expect to see something on this if it does run the course?
I would think the governor is going to have to act if he's going to pretty quickly.
Sure.
So, we'll have to wait and see. They are reviewing the information as of yesterday. So, I would think at the very least he answers the Trooper Association's letter now, you would think. But I would think if anything happens, it would happen fairly quickly.
Yeah. If not, it would just ride away in the sunset. I know I did talk to 2 or 3 state troopers. They were really happy that you'd done what you did. They were really happy to see some light being brought on this because they were really concerned about Braxton, not only for this, for other things, but they were really concerned. So I think there's a lot of them that are happy you brought this forward.
Well, I think it does raise questions, and you kind of brought this up, Moon. If this guy is doing things like this, how can he, or is he the right person to fairly discipline, troopers, and can he fairly discipline troopers?
It would be almost in a way like a judge. You'd see in the headlines or whatever that he would tell somebody, You ever come through my courtroom for anything, you just be ready. I'm going to punish you. I mean, you wouldn't want a judge to do that. You'd want a judge to be able to be, you'd want the judge to give a fair hearing and say, hey, Moon, you're guilty or not guilty. But you want to say, boy, I can't wait for Moon to come through my courtroom and you tell me that. That's not right. And that's kind of similar to what this is. He's a judge in a way over ethics
I
and
think
stuff.
That's fair. I think that's definitely fair. He is a judge in a way. He's making decisions.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, he's making ethical judges on these troopers and things of that nature. And all of a sudden he's got the ethics problems. Who's making a judgment on him? And I think that falls back on the governor. Is the governor going to make a judge on him?
The governor has the ultimate authority to start the removal process, so you're right. I mean, it does fall back on him, for sure.
Normally, last thing, Lee, normally on something like this, I know there's a process. If the governor calls you in and says, look, I need you to resign, normally they're going to resign and just so this whole all will go away. I would think that's the way it's going to be handled. I don't think we're going to see the courtroom and all that stuff. I do think if he asked Braxton to step down, Braxton going, if I can bail out of this, get me out of here. And my gut feeling is that's what's going to end up happening.
That may be. You may be right there. We'll see how it plays out.
Lee Zurik, God bless. Thank you, man. You've been a great friend. We appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you, Lee Zurik, folks.